Welcome to Just the Two of Us Homestead. We are Colleen and Frank, and we live in the perfect size homestead just for us in southwestern Quebec. Gardening, growing food, and preserving is one of our passions. And our barn animals, we love them so much, they're just like pets. And we're so fortunate to be able to live our lives as we do. Each and every day is a blessing. Hi, everybody. I'm a little bit behind the 8 ball getting this video out for the Every Bits Counts challenge, but for the very first day, I'm doing the most common thing, but I'm actually doing this at least twice a week, dehydrating my herbs. I'm doing a couple of rows of parsley. I know I did a row of oregano and basil, and I don't have a dehydrator. I do mine in my Instapot. I have little racks that go into my Instapot, and it actually dehydrates them quite quickly. Usually it takes 5 to 6 hours to do 5 or 6 rows, I think I have. So I cut them down to whatever size I need, and I put them in there. I don't need to put on the pressure lid or anything, and they're done in no time. So this time of year, I'm doing this at least twice a week. And just a quick little sidebar. I may not be able to film every day, but my heart is in this fully, and I am preserving something every day. I actually don't have much choice at this point, but I am preserving something every day. And just put them in. I pick the dehydrating function. They suggest 150, but I always go a little bit lower. I think I'll do about 115. I'm going to set it for 5 hours, and then I'll check on them. And then that's it. I don't have to put on the pressure lid. I just leave it like that. They were done in less than 5 minutes. 5 hours. So I'm just going to crinkle them up without getting as many stems as possible. The basil's not quite done yet. It's still a bit damp, so these two are done. Now once I fill up these guys, these are for our everyday use, I'll start putting the herbs in mason jars, and these ones will go back in until they're dry. Today for the Every Bit Counts challenge, I'm going to do a 3-bean salad. I've done a video on this in the past, and I'll link it below in the description. It's a long video. I don't know why I made it so long, so this will be kind of like a recap. I'm just going to show you quickly what I do. Everything in it is from the garden except for chickpeas, garbanzo beans, which I've now learned, and kidney beans. You don't have to put these in, but I like them in. I'm using celery from the garden, which I just went and picked. Oops, I broke that guy. It's the best celery I have ever grown. I'm using green and yellow beans. I'm using purple or red onions because that's what I like. It's supposed to be a red pepper, but none of my peppers have really turned red yet. This one's borderline, so I'm going to use it. And I'm just going to use a Cubanelle pepper. It's just a bunch of chopping. Make the vinaigrette. It does have to sit for a while to like infuse all the flavors. You warm it up on the stove and put it into jars, and you water bath can this. And that's it. So let's get started. Okay, we need 2 cups of chopped celery. we're going to put about 4 cups of yellow green beans and 4 cups of green beans. If I don't have quite enough yellow beans, I'll just add more green. And I like to cut them in a bit less than 1-inch pieces because it's going to be a salad. You want everything in smaller pieces, so when you can get a little bit of everything on your fork or spoon when you eat it. I had 4 cups of yellow, so now I'm going to do 4 cups of green. I have a bowl here for the chickens. And we're going to do about a cup each of green and reddish pepper. Can be to your taste. If you don't like one or the other, you can do all of one or the other. All my favorite knives are in the dishwasher. And about a cup and a half of onion, and it looks like I'll have to go downstairs and get more. These aren't quite cured yet. We just picked them less than a week ago. All our vegetables are prepped and washed. Now we're going to go to the stove and make a very simple brine. We just need oil, vinegar, lemon juice, and sugar, and that's it. So we're going to head to the stove. I'm doubling this brine, and I may even have to make more, but I'm going to start with this. So I'm using 1 cup of vinegar. I need half a cup of lemon juice. Three-quarters of a cup of sugar times 2, so 1.5. And 2.5 cups of water. We're going to add the oil later. So we're going to bring this up to a boil. Okay, we're up to a boil, and we're going to go back and put the oil and sugar in it. We're going to add half a cup of oil. I'm just using regular olive oil. And 1 teaspoon of, I'm using pickling salt. Just don't use an iodized salt. Now we're going to put all our vegetables into the pot. That's the prettiest salad. Well, when it cools down, we're going to cover it and put it in the fridge. And the recipe for this brine says to put it in the fridge for 10 hours. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put it in the fridge for about 3 or 4. I'll stir it every once in a while because the brine doesn't quite cover everything. And then I'm going to can it. I've done that before, not doing the full hours, and it works out just fine. Okay, I have warmed up the 3-bean salad. I let it soak for about 4 hours in the fridge, and it's nice and hot. My canner's hot. My jars are soaking in hot water. So we're going to first put the vegetables in, and then we backfill with the liquid to about a 1/2-inch headspace. Deep bubble. adjust it to a 1/2 inch. Wipe our lid, our rim with vinegar. There's oil in this brine, so I want to make sure it's very clean. Put on a clean lid and the band, and that's very hot and fingertip tight, and into the canner it goes. They process for 15 minutes. All the bumps are up, so I'm hoping they sealed. I do use 4-jar lids. They don't know about me, but I use them all the time. I have for, I guess, close to 2 years now. And I've had one for sure, maybe 2 failed seals. One for sure was my fault. The other one, I can't remember. So I use them exclusively. And I had this little bit left over that we'll just have with supper. I did have extra brine left over, and it makes a beautiful salad dressing. I couldn't think of the word. So it's very, very tasty. So we will have that tonight with supper. I'll make a salad. And hopefully these all pop, and I know they will. And during the winter, when you open up a jar of this, it's like eating summer. So this is one of our favorite things, and it's one of my favorite things to can. So that's it for today's preservation. This is my last batch of green beans from the beans that I currently had growing in the garden. I think this is my 7th round from the provider and strike that I had planted. I have another set growing for another crop, but this is the last from the previous crop. I'm adding zinc to my beans that I learned from Ruth Ann Zimmerman. They keep your beans so green. I love using this. They'll come out so green. You may not see it as well in this video because I was having a bit of a lighting issue. And I put 1/2 teaspoon of salt in mine. That's all I put in. And I raw pack my green beans all the time, which means I don't heat them up. I'm just adding room temperature water to them. My canner will be at room temperature as well. And then I debubble them, which is very hard because I pack them quite tight, but I try and make sure I get to every nook and cranny. And with a clean rag, I wipe the rims, put on a clean lid, and a ring, fingertip tight, and then I got 7 quarts into my canner. And like I said, they don't show it too well here, but I'm trying to show you how beautiful the green color is. On this day, this is when our peppers were just starting to slowly come in. Right now, they're coming in on a daily basis. And when they start coming in on a daily basis, I will use my chopper tool. But for now, I only had maybe 8 or 10 here. So I was just chopping them up. And these will all go into the freezer and we will enjoy them all winter long. These are Cubanelles that I'm cutting up right now. But that was just the tip of the iceberg that is coming in from the garden, and we love every bit of it. Hey everybody, today I'm going to make pickles for the very first time ever. Last week we experimented with using the mini cukes, which aren't pickling cucumbers, they're just mini cucumbers. I did refrigerator pickles, and they turned out pretty good. So I'm just going to try it with this. And we're going to get started right away. And this will also count towards the Every Bit Counts challenge from Jessica at Three Rivers Homestead. So this will be my preserving project for the day. Bring mixture just to boil over medium heat, stirring constantly until mixture dissolves. It says only you have to cut off the blossom end, but I don't like the tails either. Oh, I wanted to put a garlic at the bottom. It smells very pickly. It says, oh my gosh, I'm spilling, to half an inch. Let me double check that. Okay, I'm going to fill them all. Oh, pints, 10 minutes. Yep, 15 minutes for quarts. So tomorrow I'll do a taste test on one of them. And that's it. I'll see you tomorrow. Still not quite a pickle, but that was fun. Always learn something new, but I don't think I would do it again, or I definitely wouldn't serve these to people because of the texture. And until we're together again, take care.